Many Syrians know the loss of loved ones only too well. In the town of Jinderes in the northwest, more than a decade of civil war has already killed and displaced many. But those who have survived are now living through a new trauma, the region's earthquakes disaster. Across the border in Turkey, rescue and aid operations are running non-stop. But here, there is only silence and feelings of grief and abandonment. Al-Muayyad Bukhar could only watch helplessly as his son slowly died. Trapped together under debris for hours, he hugged his child and waited for help, but none arrived.
First, blood oozed out of my son's mouth, and then his voice faded gradually. My daughter and other son were just meters away. They also died. I only ask for help from God.
Muayyad says no aid can heal his wounds. He has lost what he treasured most, his children. Northwest Syria is home to more than 4 million people. It has been heavily bombed by the regime throughout a 12-year-long civil war. Life here was already tough, and the earthquake has just added to their misery. These children were born during Syria's war. Most have grown up as orphans. They have watched those around them killed by bombs falling from the sky. The earthquakes took away what little they had left. But even in disaster, some are finding fun in this makeshift camp. It's now home to many survivors. One of them is Mohammed Satouf. He had a family and lived in a camp. It wasn't much, but still home. He says he was next to his wife when the roof collapsed on them. He held his wife's leg to see if she was alive. She moved it a little, a sign of life, a spark of hope. When he woke in a makeshift hospital, he discovered his entire family was dead.
I asked about my wife. The doctor told me she is dead. My daughter is dead. My son too. They are all gone.
4 kilometers away in Kafar Safra, life and death are intertwined. Sabah Hussein lost many friends and family members during the war. Now the earthquake has claimed 9 more.
You see how many people are now in need of help. They also lost their families. We buried our loved ones here.
Her husband lies buried next to some of their children. But she says she must stay strong. Her youngest child still needs her. People here say the international community has abandoned them, but they are used to being ignored. Now, though, they feel angered by the absence of help. Although international aid is finally arriving, they say it is too little, too late. But what there is, they will need to survive the winter. We had to cross the border before the day ended. We passed several checkpoints as the sun set, leaving behind a country where disaster after disaster overlap. Resul Serdar, Al Jazeera, Jinderes, Northwest Syria.